Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of CLX Foundry Live, where we dive deep into somebody's build and we put it together from the ground up. I'm your host, DJ Blue PDX, and joining me live from our studios in Wichita, Kansas, it's none other than our lead technical expert, Paul Steffens, and our master builder, Zach Killingsworth, who is definitely in the spirit today because you people have decent weather. How warm is it out there right now? This is not me swearing at you. There we go. Because it is darn near freezing over here. We may end up getting snow this week. Who knows? But I'll tell you who's not going to be getting snow is, I believe it's Noah in Colorado. So Noah's picked out a really, really awesome PC. Let's take a look at what we're going to be putting inside of it today. We have a momentary technical difficulty. Everybody just hang on. We'll be right with you. So to cover for Paul, we're going to be putting in lots of stuff and things, including cable mods, which we haven't done a cable mod here in a little while. So that'll be fun to show everybody. And I don't remember the last time we ever did an IQ Link Titan 360 AIO from Corsair. I know we have. I believe we've done one on the show before, but I don't know that we. I don't. It's been a long time. So, all right, we're gonna be right back in just a moment. Don't go away. Oh, me keep talking? Oh, got it. Sorry, I've got production in one ear. I'm watching things in the other ear. There we go. So we've got a bunch of fun things. Everything from a Ryzen 7 to an Asus ROG Strix.
All right.
X870, which is going to be great. Paul, take it away.
Alrighty. So starting out with our processor, we've got the AMD Ryzen 7 9850X3D. To cool that, we've got our Corsair Titan 360 AIO, like DJ was saying. We have done this before, but it's pretty uncommon. For our motherboard, we've got the Asus Strix X870E-E gaming Wi-Fi. And for our memory, we've got 2 sticks of Corsair 16 gigabyte DDR5 6400 speed. So a total of 32 gigs of very, very fast memory. For our storage drive, we've got a 2 terabyte Samsung 990 Pro. We got, 10 of our Corsair 120 mil fans. These are another thing you guys have probably seen before if you've watched the show, but they're also pretty rare. So we'll talk a little bit more about those as we go. For our video card, we've got a RTX 5080 from Asus. It's a really good looking card. And for our power supply, we've got an EVGA 1000 watt Supernova 80 plus gold with a cable mod kit to go with that.
Nice. This will be a lot of fun. We haven't done a cable mod here in a little bit.
It's been a bit.
So it's going to be fun. All right, as we're getting this taken apart. Once again, this is a CLX Horus. It's an 011 Dynamic Evo X in black. It's a little different than some of the other cases we've been using as of recent. But one thing I do love is the fact that we've got space in the back for the for all the cable management. So, Paul, what are some unique features of this case?
Yeah, so the 011 is kind of the beginning of this fish tank design. I'm sure there were some cases before it, but this is what really got popular, and you started to see every brand do it. So the overall design is you don't see any of the cables in the case other than when they come out of these grommets. So in the back, there's a good middle channel for cable management. Zach can open that door and show you real quick, and our power supply on this one goes in the bottom, but all your cables are hidden there. There's obviously a bunch of different models of O11. Sometimes the power supply is down here like this one, sometimes it's up here, but the main thing that stays the same is that cable management in the middle.
Yeah. So we kind of call those almost like a 4/5 or a 2/3 case, where it doesn't sit necessarily directly on the back. Now, some cases do have the motherboard that sits right on the back of the system, which makes it a little bit different for cable management. But with all that space, Zach's going to have some fun. All right. Don't forget, if you got questions or you hear a term you're not familiar with, go ahead and ask. Put it in the chat. There's no such thing as a dumb question, only terrible hairlines. So, with all that said,
nice. I just floated.
I love the crinkly paper. All right, let's take a look at this motherboard. This, of course, one of my favorite companies to deal with. I love them. I use them myself. It's a ROG Asus Strix. This is an X870E gaming motherboard, and it comes with lots of plastic. If you're building your own system on your own, please make sure you take off all the plastic because, well, it might smell funny eventually. There is so much on there. Oh my god. All right. Let's take a look at this. This is gonna be a good one. I love the look of it, the appearance of it. It's got great heat shielding when it comes to the M.2s. And let's take a look at the connectivity, because this is where it gets real. And when I say real, I mean really good. So obviously you've got, let's start with we got two Type-C USB 4 ports. All right, now that's 40 gigs up and down. And then we've got one USB Type-C that is 20 gigs up and down with up to 30 watts of fast charge capability. 10 USB 10 port gigs. That's 9 Type-A's, 1 Type-C. And that's 10 gigs up and down for each of those ports. So you've got massive connectivity here and great lanes for you to be able to plug many different things in there. You've got your HDMI on there, your Wi-Fi module. You've got a Realtek 5 gig Ethernet port on there, plus your gold-plated audio jacks, your optical spit-off out, and then your BIOS and CMOS buttons, so you don't have to get in and touch your motherboard. Yay! All right. So yeah, that's now, and the reason I harp on the whole connectivity thing is because anybody who's a content creator knows the struggle. We have lots of things, peripherals to plug in, and having the bandwidth to do so on a motherboard is essential. Also essential, having a CPU. And for that, we're going to be using an AMD Ryzen 7 9850 X3D. Paul, tell me a little bit about this processor.
This is an 8-core, 16-thread processor. It's got a base speed of 4.7, and it will boost all the way up to 5.6, one of the top-of-the-line processors from AMD.
Nice. Now, obviously, you're going to want to find a way of cooling it down because they're going to get hot. And so that is going to be what I'm going to ask Zach, what you putting in there, bud?
So this is going to be the AM5 retention kit for the Corsair. Depending on what processor you have and motherboard you are using, that will determine what retention kit you want to use. So always grab the right stuff for the right equipment.
Gotcha. Nice. All right, so as far as our AIOs go, take a look at this. This is interesting here. So you got the bracket you got to put on first. There we go. Now, this is great. This is an AIO. This is a Corsair Titan 360 LCD AIO in black. So look at that. So I love the design right here on just the thermal paste. Yeah, looks good. Looks great. Just slide those little guys on there, and you're going to screw it on down. Now, for those people who've never actually hooked up an AIO before, Zach, walk me through what some of the best practices are when you're doing so.
Yes, you want to grab the proper hardware for your processor, and then when installing it, we want to go around, not in a circle. We want to bounce from side to side. That applies even pressure to our processor, so we don't get any damage on our processor or motherboard.
Nice. Good call. Now, this is a little bit different than some of the other AIOs that we've had. But for those who know what an AIO is, Paul, what are the different ways that you can cool a processor?
So you got air and liquid cooling. So an AIO is liquid cooling. It stands for all-in-one. So these come out of the box with the coolant in there. So these are a really good way to cool your processor, especially in a gaming setup. If these were like workstations for just tackling spreadsheets and email and stuff like that, you could definitely just go with an air cooler. Wouldn't be a problem. And there are some higher end air coolers that are good for gaming machines as well. But in general, the AIO's performance is just well above the air coolers. So I always prefer to go with one of those.
Yeah. If you ever have walked the competitor floor where the PC gaming is, where the PCs are that people bring in for the bringing up the BYOC in DreamHack, you'll be able to see some really incredible air coolers there. We were blown away when we walked through there. The other thing that's going to blow you away is the fact that we've got RAM that is 6400. I thought 6000 was fast. Good God. So this is two 16 gig sticks. That's a total of 32 for the Corsair DDR5 6400 in black and RGB. It slides right into slot 2 and slot 4. And if you're wondering if you can just shove them into slot 1 and slot 2, the answer to that question is no. Why is that?
Our motherboard manual tells us we want to use slot 2 and 4, typically on motherboards with 4 slots. That's what you're going to use. I believe that's where the CPU looks to first when it's reading memory, so you might be able to get it to work in 1 and 3, but it's preferred to do 2 and 4.
Motakita says, nice to meet you. Do you build the PCs including Windows today? Yes, we were going to be building a Windows PC, and then after that, the operating system will be installed, and it's going to be a clean operating system, no bloatware or other blah on it. But I'll tell you what is also going to be thrown in there is our hard drive. Now, this is how we're going to actually get your data on there for the OS. And as you can see, Zach has pulled off the heatsink. So that's going to keep your M.2 cooler. But as far as the M.2 goes, we're going to be doing a 2 terabyte Samsung 990 Pro NVMe M.2, which is fantastic. Now, this is 2 terabytes on something the size of a stick of gum. And then we just plug that right on. Now, how many different slots do you think that this has for M.2s?
2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
There we go.
6 slots.
Oh, yeah.
I know that I personally use 2 M.2 slots on mine. Just one is the 4 terabyte for the games. The other is the 1 terabyte for the operating system. This is going to be great because there's plenty of opportunity for expansion here. Now, when we get ready to put it into the case, the one thing you want to pay attention to is these little nubbins called standoffs. So, Paul, what do standoffs do? Why do we need to pay attention to them?
So standoffs separate our motherboard from the frame of the chassis, and that's where our motherboard mounting screws are going to go into. So you'll see Zach looking at those, and you uninstalling one right now, Zach? Are you moving them all down?
I'm shifting it up.
Okay, so in this case, you can rearrange your standoffs. You guys can probably see those little kind of markings or engravings next to the holes. Some say M, some say A, and then there's some arrows. So this case is a little unique in that you can shift it up and down based on your build. So Zach is deciding to shift these up, so he's taking the standoffs out of that spot and moving them up and just making sure they're in the ATX configuration. These are important because you don't want to screw your motherboard directly to the case because that can cause it to short out. So, yes.
And we've got a question coming in here from Isotex. Mentioned you got a PC from us in November, but the XMP is, my RAM is 6400. DDR5 had to lower it to 6000. I would definitely recommend getting a hold of our customer service and technical support about that. That is the perfect direction to run with that. The Blue Pariah. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, yeah, thanks for getting one of our PCs. Sorry you're having that issue. Anytime that DDR5 comes out, the fastest speeds are just a little wonky at first. So, but yeah, like DJ said, if you want to get it back up to 6400, just reach out to us.
And let's see here. The Blue Pariah mentions, I'm very excited to receive this PC. It's very cool to watch and learn more about what went into building it. Oh, that's awesome. Awesome. Over on the kick side, we've got Warhand who asked a really good question. Can you use 3 sticks of RAM?
Good question, Warhand. Yes, you can. So you'd be using them in slots 2, 4, and 1. And I say it that way because that's the way you should populate them instead of 1, 2, 4. It'll obviously end up being the same, but just think of it in your head as populating 2, 4, and 1.
Yep. There you go. Over on the YouTube side, we've got Enjoy Life, Silly. I love that name. That's fantastic. Says, I just got a Western Digital Black SN 7100 2 terabyte to upgrade my one build from an older 970E 500 gig. Nice.
Very nice. Those Western Digital Blacks are pretty good.
Yep.
We do have those available as well.
And sometimes you can find them on sale, like on Prime Days. I found, what, 2 of them? I think I got 2 different 1 terabyte Western Digital M.2s. And yeah, just in case I need them, expansions, they were like $60 each, which was very, very cheap at that point. Okay. Now that we've got everything screwed in there, on the average, how many holes are there that gonna need to match up with your standoffs?
For an ATX board, there's typically 9. Some models have a 10th one there under where the I/O shield is. Some of them don't. So standard is 9 and sometimes 10.
Nice. Nice. Now, one of the cool things that we'll notice here is that LCD screen on the top there for the cooler. So that right there is your pump that's going to be pushing that liquid in and out and flowing it through the radiator. But there's going to be something that you can put on that pump that's digital. So what can that be used for?
So this can be used for a lot of things. So right out of the box, it typically displays your CPU temperature. But you can put GIFs, little videos, whatever you want on there, really.
Nice. I know I use the screen on mine for just basic temperatures. Now, when you're installing them, there's 2 different ways you can install a radiator. One is on the back, standing. The other is going to be on the top, which is more the usual case. So what are some key things to remember when you're installing it on the top versus when you're installing it on the side?
The big thing is where these tubes go into the radiator. So right here, you want this above your pump. And that's because there's always a small amount of air that they can't get out from the factory in these AIOs. And if we can prevent that air from going to the pump, it's going to make it last longer.
Yes. Let's see here. Warhand wants to know over on the gig side, what would be the turnaround time to get a PC built and shipped here to New York?
It would be very quick right now, Warhand. I'd say if you're doing a full custom build off our website, where we will build it and everything. Probably, I would say maybe 3 business days to get it through the build and testing process, and then whatever shipping time to New York. We're located in Wichita, Kansas, so we're right in the middle of the U.S. Our shipping times, the longest shipping time to anywhere in the U.S. is typically 3 days, but you can always pay extra for overnight. Or if you want an RTS system, we could, if you ordered it right now, it would ship out today. So those are ready to ship systems that we already have in stock. So, yep.
And to find out more about those, simply head over to clxgaming.com.
Yeah.
All right, so as we're looking at the bottom of the case right here, you can see where we've got the little filtration there. You got your screen, but you also have 4 feet that are going to allow you to kind of have a little bit of extra room so it can breathe underneath there. Paul, when it comes to that, what is the best practice when you're on where you're placing your PC to get maximum airflow?
So for maximum airflow, you want to keep the space between the bottom of the case. When we say that, we're talking about this right here and the bottom of our feet. This is a really small space, so it can seem kind of insignificant, but it is helpful in keeping this clean to get a lot of airflow. And you can see this case has a built-in magnetic air filter right here. So for when you need to clean off your PC, it just pops off like that, and then you can just put it back in.
So I just want to jump back to something that was mentioned earlier. We've got the Blue Pariah 97, so I'm very excited to receive this PC. So so this is yours. You ordered this. Is that correct? Also over on the YouTube side, we've got William Kerr 9900 says, never seen a build before. Here for my friends PC's build you're doing. This is awesome. That is great.
Sweet.
We love it.
We're glad to have you both here.
We do this every Tuesday and Thursday. Tuesdays right here on Kick, YouTube, and Twitch. On Thursdays, we're exclusively on TikTok, so you don't want to miss those shows. They're a lot of fun. And it's a great opportunity to learn how to build a PC. Who knows? You might know how to change something out on yours. And there you go. Yes, so the Blue Pariah, you're Noah from Colorado. Awesome. Well, congratulations and welcome. Glad that you're getting here to see it. Do you mind if we ask a couple questions? What are you going to be using this for? Is it going to be for work or for gaming or for streaming or a combination of those? because right now it's a pretty baller setup. Yeah, especially with that 5080. Good Lord. Now we're getting the fans screwed onto this. So, Zach, why is it important to get the fans mounted on here correctly and pointed in the right direction?
Yeah, so heat is a natural riser. Chemistry taught us that back in elementary school. So all we have to do is just help naturally push that heat up and out of the case. So the basic rule of wrist for most cases is going to be just from the floor to the ceiling and from the front to the back. And if your fans are pushing in those general directions, you should be pretty good. Unless you have like a KS or a high-end X3D and you only have like 2 fans in there, then you probably should upgrade and get like 2 more fans at least. You know, double down.
That's right.
Yeah. And of course, we're going to be using 10 different Corsair 120 RX series RGB fans in black, which is great. Now, when you're putting these together, Paul, what's the best way to understand how you position the fans? Because sometimes they have markings, sometimes they don't.
Yeah, so on these fans, and most fans are like this, where you can see this fan grill here. This is where air is going to be coming out of the fan, and this is where air is going to be coming in. So we're going to have our intake fans on the bottom and the side. That's what Zach's installing now. And then we've got our exhaust on the top, and this one will be going in the rear of the case.
Now, real quick, I want to point this out because if nobody else noticed, I noticed, and that was the fact that Zach was able to pull this whole 3-fan arrangement up at once. So how do these fans connect to each other, and why is that different than some of our other fans?
Yeah, so these are very high-end fans from Corsair. You'll see each brand have their high-end version of fans that connect together. So that's what these are. There's connections on the sides of the fan that you'll see that plug in together. And then what's really neat about this is, let's say we're going to use this cable. We can plug in this, we can go back to the front shot. We can plug in this section of fans with this cable to this one. Then we just have one cable powering, and then we can obviously tie that into the top. But I believe most likely we'll be doing these 2 and then the top and the rear one together, Zach. And then
all of this will get daisied into each other.
All into one?
Yeah, everything all into one all at the same time.
So that's pretty,
how it's done.
That's pretty cool.
Everything everywhere all at once. Perfect.
And not like a Noah Khan song.
Nice. Yeah, I'm a fan of these types of fans just because it makes things a lot easier when it comes to cable management, especially for the builder.
Absolutely.
Abirone says, hello, welcome. First timer, how's it going? Are the size of the fans 120 millimeter? Yes, they are. Now, fans do come in different sizes. Paul, what are those? Generally?
So generally it's 120 and 140. Now there are some other small sizes if you really want to get into the nitty gritty of it, but really if you're building a PC, 120 and 140 with 120 being the most common.
Isotex mentioned as a response to the Blue Pariah and I says, dog, I love my PC from CLX. I got a 14700K, a 5070 Ti, 6400 DDR5, and it does all the streaming, gaming, music, Discord, and everything else I need to do, plus more. You'll enjoy yours. It's good to hear, man. It's really good to hear, Isotex. Isotex, don't forget, we have a thread in our Discord, discord.gg/CLX Gaming. There we go. For anybody who's got a CLX PC to show us your environment that it's in. So show us your setup. We would love to see it over there. It's a great spot to dump a picture and be like, hey, my stuff is cool. There we go. Byron says, okay, I know that I've already destroyed and completely mutilated your name, Byron, yeah, so I apologize for that already. So saw the Insta story and decided to stop by. Well, we're glad to have you. The goal of this show is not only to give customers an opportunity to see their builds potentially built, but also to teach people who might be looking to try and put together a system themselves and provide them some hints, tips, and tricks that our professionals use there at the studio. Yeah. Yes. All right. Wow. That is going together fast. Now, one thing to consider, and I will say this is definitely proving itself, is the fact that only having to run one cable for all 10 fans definitely shortens the build time.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely shortens the build time. Now, one thing that we are going to be doing, and I guess we can talk about that first or second. Well, let's talk about our PSU, our power supply unit. So this is an EVGA Supernova 1000 watt 80 plus gold power supply. But I'm going to, and what type of power supply is it?
Modular.
There we go, modular. There are 3 different types of power supplies. What are they?
They are modular, non-modular, and semi-modular.
The answer to your question is yes. Is the CLX setup picks channel? Yes, that's where you go. Now, here's the thing that I want to talk about, because the fact that it's modular means that there's no actual cables connected to it, and you get to, then you only have to use what you need. But with a cable kit from Cable Mod, we have sleeved cables in black. So talk to me about this. What does this do, and from an aesthetic standpoint or performance standpoint? How does that work?
Sure. So cable mods are completely aesthetic. They're like the nice finishing touch on your build. The cables just look a lot cleaner than the stock cables that come with the power supplies. So for a build that's all out like this, it's a really nice finishing touch to use.
Yeah. So and the cable mods come in many different types and styles. You've got sleeved cable mods. You've got colored cable mods. I have white cable mods in mine, and it's kind of wild. It's fun. So when it comes to cable management, I just want to jump over to Zach real fast, because Zach's working on it right now. If you're building it for the first time, what is the order in which you would say you should be putting your cable management together?
Yes, so there are 3 groups of cables in all builds. You're going to have your case cables, which I am finishing up now. Those are going to be your power buttons, your USBs, your HD audios, all that fun stuff that comes equipped on the case. I like getting those done first, because then you can easily move on to the next group of cables, which would be our fan cables. But by having all of the case stuff done and put away, then we can easily work with the fans. So, fans shouldn't take too long, like you said. We're just plugging in 1 cable per fan group, but the way that these Corsair fans work is they daisy to each other and get plugged into a hub. So we're plugging our exhaust into our 3 on the radiator, into the 3 on the back side, into the 3 on the floor, and then the 3 on the floor get plugged into our... I'll figure out which camera I'm going to eventually. This hub is going to have our AIO plugged into it and our fans plugged into it.
Nice. Now from this shot here, Paul, never mind. I was gonna there's that door on the very back that's got a little cage. What is that?
Right up here. Oh. Right here is our extra hard drive base. So there's 2 slots in there for 2.5 inch or 3.5 inch drives.
Let's see here.
Struggling today, Zach. I think I ate 2 pounds of pad thai for lunch.
There you go.
And I am
feeling it.
I feel like Santa Claus right now.
Yes. So Byron asked, I'm actually a small streamer trying to grow, and I saw that you guys actually have an affiliate program. We do. If you want to access that via the website, you can fill that on out. Do you guys work with smaller channels? Just wondering. That is way above my pay grade. Let's see here. Okay. Now we're going to be pulling out the joy, which is cable mods.
Cable mods.
Okay. Fans are done until we get the power in.
Nice.
Yeah, I'll need like all of this.
All
later.
that? Okay.
Yeah, it's
Now-
the last thing I do.
If for some reason, if for some reason Noah wants to upgrade the power supply later. Does that mean he needs to get a different cable mod set up?
No, is not allowed to upgrade the power supply later. Yes, just kidding. No, yes. If you get a new power supply, so you've got an EVGA 1000 watt right now. Let's say you want to upgrade to like a Seasonic 1200 watt. These cable mods are designed for this specific power supply, so they will not work if you change the model. But if you buy a power supply, it's going to come with cables. So they just won't be the fancy cable mods like this.
Perfect. Okay. I gotta get back to work before I get in trouble, but nice PC build, and I hope you guys have a great stream. Thank you so much, Byron. And a build, of course.
Dog.
Absolutely. Warhand says, our power supply is the only thing EVGA makes anymore. Oh, our power supply is the only thing that EVGA makes anymore.
Pretty much. They probably make some other stuff, but as far as like internal components of a PC, yeah. Like you can see them have their own branding on some like mice and keyboards every now and then. I don't know if it's quite their stuff or they're just throwing their branding on something else, but yeah.
Yeah, I miss the graphics cards, I'm very, very honest. They do offer peripherals though, like from everything from mice to you name it, but yeah. Oh wow. That's some pretty impressive mice. There we go. Who knew? All right, now we're getting these all plugged in. So how does this change how you wire in the system?
So depending on the case, sometimes it's a lot easier to plug the cables that you will be using into the power supply and then drop all of it in. Other times it's just nice to have everything plugged into it when you screw it all down. Really just depends, and whatever you're comfortable with, you know. If you don't feel comfortable, say no. Go get you a warm cup of milk.
Ooh.
Wow.
Warm milk.
Wow.
Yep.
I watched V for Vendetta the other day, so
yeah.
they were making fun of him for drinking warm milk.
That is so gross.
Big shout out to Hashim, who's in the house, or should I say Hashim? There we go. I don't know why we always announce him like that, but we just do. Hope you're doing well, my friend.
Do you not do warm milk for hot chocolate?
I guess I do.
Not if you're lactose intolerant. See, Mark, what's going on? And then
Warm
let's see.
Chunky.
Oh, that's curdled.
So Warhand mentions that his EVGA 3080 runs hot and wishes it had more VRAM. Gotcha. Yeah, I'm very happy that I went with the 3090 OC.
You didn't read the last part of that. And
what?
Also, it's not a kingpin.
Bingo.
What?
Not a kingpin. If you're going to get an EVGA graphics card, you want to get the kingpin.
Kingpin, baby.
It's the best of the best. It's like,
it's a sweet model.
Yeah.
Huge.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I
You had the Kingpin, you had the FTWs.
Oh, thank you. Yes. We've got
Bears,
Get Outside, you know.
You have a Get Outside thing on?
Mountains.
I've got a Get Outside thing on, I think.
Camp Life.
Oh,
Yeah.
mine says Get Lost. Never mind.
That's a good one, too.
Yeah, it's a reference to that.
Yeah, dude, I'm so sorry to hear about that. For those of you who don't know, Hashim is in Bahrain presently, and has been in the middle of all the things going on over there, and we do hope that you stay as safe as possible. Do you guys remember the Kingpin video games? Yes, but I want to point something out real fast that I thought was interesting. Can we go back to the box for the 5080?
Box.
All right. So I know this is going to nerd out. I'm going to nerd out on this one, but you notice all the corners are missing on it, like it's a Battlestar Galactica build. Look at that! I dig it. Sorry, I'm a Battlestar Galactica fan. There you go. Sorry.
I am a mannequin.
All right, let's take a look at what's inside. This is actually a really detailed looking box.
Ooh, this is a big card. Oh my. Oh my.
Oh my God. Okay, so in weeks past, we've had some really nice low-profile cards that have been to slaughters. So this is definitely the other end of the spectrum, like we've talked about with some that we hadn't done in a minute. So this looks like a 3, potentially a 4 slaughter.
Yeah, this is a 4 slaughter. This ain't your daddy's
Nice.
graphics card, okay? This is a big boy.
Once again, if you've got a graphics card, you're going to put that in. The first thing you want to do is make sure that you pull all the plastic off. Yes, there's plastic on almost all surfaces. For whatever reason, I think it's just for trying to irritate the end user. But there's so much to take off, because if you don't and it gets hot, what do you think happens to plastic? Kind of melts, and that smells awful. Smells just horrible. Much love, Hashim. All right, now as we're getting that off, good Lord, that is a beast.
Yeah,
Oh,
it can
I'm
just
loving
stand
that.
here on its own. Look at that.
It's like chili. Stand a fork up it.
There you go.
All right, so now that you've got this in your hands and as you're peeling things off, how does it feel weight-wise?
It's a heavy card, that's for sure.
Okay. So for that, as most of you who've seen the show before know what happens when we have a heavy card, we're going to have to use something called an anti-sag bracket.
Oh, yeah.
So, Paul, what are they and why are they important?
So the anti-sag bracket gives it extra support from the side where it mounts on, this side where my fingers are. These are where our mounting screws go in. So the anti-sag bracket gives it support over here. That way it doesn't sag in the case. That can cause damage to the card itself or rip out your PCIe slot. So we don't want that.
Yep. Warhand is a great question. It says, does that plastic that peels off serve any purpose, or are they just putting it on because it's fun? Honestly, I think it's just to torture everybody who buys the card.
Probably.
I think it's
they know
for,
people like stickers.
Yep.
Yes.
Stickers, guys. Free stickers.
Also, it keeps any potential scratches from happening. Yeah. And Hashim, yes, that's a tough 5080. That's a thick 5080.
It's a
And
big boy.
it's funny that we were just talking about that. What was it, last week?
How tough is it?
Well, it could be used as a anti-home invasion device protection. Just throw that at somebody's head and they won't be falling over. Is this torture? I love to peel new stuff. Okay, I'm a sticker guy like that, so even when I get when I get sent products and things, it drives me nuts if I can't peel that off and not have any sticky anywhere. Jeez. Give it a good sniff too.
Just gotta get the smell of graphics.
I thought you said snow, and I'm like, that's not what we're doing here. Never mind. I'm done. Oh my goodness. How many people do you think are using their graphics cards with the plastic still on? Warhand asks. Yeah. Yeah, definitely too many. We've seen it happen firsthand.
Okay.
One of my friends who I used to game with constantly on Mixer, she had a 3090, but was getting maybe 45 to 60 frames on Rainbow Six Siege. And so we were trying to troubleshoot it, figuring what the heck is going on? Why is she getting this garbage frame rate with a high-end card like that? And she goes, well, do I have it plugged into the wrong HDMI thing? What do you mean the wrong one? Well, I plugged into the one that's up there, but then there's the one on the graphics card. Wait, you plugged it into your motherboard? Yes. We plugged that in and got her set up on her 3090. Oh my God. Life changed significantly. Yeah. So if that can happen, definitely sure people can leave their plastic on. Alrighty. Now, what are you unbundling there, Zach?
So this is all of the accoutrement for our Corsair fans and AIO. Just because our fans plug in with only one cable doesn't mean that runs the entire system. Some aftermarket companies that have some pretty sweet liquid coolers and fans do require some software to be loaded up for things to spin or glow at whatever you want them to be at. So all of this Corsair stuff gets plugged into some USB headers. We also plug into our fan PWM header so that we can control the speed of our fans, and we just want to make sure that everything is set up properly. Nice.
And for those of you who are just tuning in, this is actually a live build for somebody who's in the chat. This is going to be for the Blue Pariah 97 out of Colorado. We're excited that you're here to see this thing get put together. Let the guys know if you want them to sign it. Which Celux case is this? This is a Celux Horus 011 Dynamic Evo X in black. Now, there is that little slidey door that is on the back that you can see open right now. What purpose does that serve there, Paul?
That is just to cover our cable management, and then the holes that are in it, you can also mount extra hard drives in there as well.
Nice. So you've got the hot swap case up top. Wait, or that's not hot swappable, is it? You have to manually connect it.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
Okay, got it.
Rotate here.
Yeah, the raw 011 has the hot swappable. Yeah. Fun thing about hot swappable drive bays is you have to make sure that the drive is at least up to the technology of the hot swappable cage. If you're using the Molex old IDE, you know what I'm talking about. What the hell is it called? The big ribbons. Yeah. Yeah.
IDE.
Yeah, that was... Yeah, I realized, the hard drives that I was looking to try and plug into this little bay can't do it. All right, look at this. This is looking good. Now, I'm going to be interested. So, when it comes to, I don't know, Blue Pariah, I hope you're still in here because we got a couple things I want to ask you and just clarify. So, when we're shipping this, Paul, is the card going to be still installed, or are you going to be shipping the card in its own box?
It will be shipping uninstalled because this is a big boy.
Yeah. So, Blue Pariah, we definitely want you to tune in when we install the card because we want to be able to show you how to get it back in properly, and it'll be as easy as it can. It'll be fun. Look at that cable management. Good grief. Back is on top of it. And the nice thing about that power supply is it's going to be pulling in through the grating on the back and pushing it out the side, which is going to be wonderful. Yes. Okay, good. The representative that you were speaking with said they would be removing it? Yeah, definitely. So we will make sure we're very, very clear on that one. And if you have any questions while we're doing it, please ask. That's the big thing is how to make it as easy as possible for you to put it in. Look at that. Der Bauer. Yummy. So when you're doing it, definitely lay it down on its back just like you see here. All right? Now, Zach, are you guys putting the plate covers, the slot covers back in, or leaving those out?
We will be leaving them out, so you won't have to take out these slot covers that Zach's installing, and it will give you kind of a good alignment to know where to put this. So,
yeah.
There's only going to be one power cable for this card, which is really nice. It's this one right here. So this will just be resting in the case. This is all you need to know to plug in the power. There's a tab on one side, and the other side does not have the little push down tab. So when you're looking at the card yourself, you'll be able to tell which way it's supposed to go. And Zach will walk you through actually installing it.
Alrighty, so First things first that we want to do is we want to make sure that our I/O slots are open and that our PCI lane is not obscure of anything. And this is a quick release latch, so it always stays open. It locks in place when you push your graphics card down. So we want to line our PCI line up and our I/Os up.
That is a huge card.
And it should gently set down. If you need better view of the lane, you can remove a heat sink, and we're down.
Yeah, there
Nice.
won't be like
Click
a
in
super
place.
satisfying click on these new Asus motherboards with their new latches.
Yeah.
So, if you don't hear that satisfying click, you're good. But you can very easily look down and see if you're in or not.
I miss the button. I miss the button a lot. Right?
Bring it back.
Let's see here. Rogue Gamer 1 says, yo, the dude building it looks geeked. No, he looks tropical. There we go. Very tropical. Because it's actually 80 degrees there. While it's barely 40 here. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Down here in the Bahamas, it's so nice. Me and Zach are going to go to the beach after this.
Yeah.
Get a couple
Nice.
of coconuts with some straws in there.
Oh yeah. We actually have
Oh.
2 at home right now.
Yeah.
Dude, I had a
Now-
bonfire out the other night. Oh, and just watched the sunset at like 7:30 at night. Oh, it was
Beautiful.
glorious.
Beautiful.
The it's 77 over in Colorado right now. 80. Listen, the Pacific Northwest is in a cold, freakish.
You get what you get, and you don't throw a fit, and that's what you get
Yep.
for living in Bella Land. All right, it's always
All right,
it's
now
always
here's-
foggy and rainy up there, according to Bella.
I have.
If you don't
I have,
know who
so
she
One
is-
thing I want to point out.
They made
Oh, yes.
movies off
One-
of her.
Team Edward,
The
baby.
hold on. The
Can't skip over our
anti-sag
Twilight
device.
references.
I know. I'm just trying to get the information out there for
She's
people.
just trying to push it out like Twilight.
So don't get me wrong. I'm a huge Twilight fan. Team Jacob. For aligning it up and making sure it works with the anti-sag bracket, is that already going to be preset and locked in?
Yes.
Okay. You live in a desert. I almost said dessert and then realized that's not the word you were looking for. All right. Now, looks like we are getting close to done. And
We're
now we can
there.
put the sides on. So while we put the sides on and get the glass on and everything's going to be constructed back to normal, I'm going to take you on an adventure because I want to show you how Blue Pariah got their PC by heading over to our website. Let's go over there. At CLXGaming.com, we try to make it as easy as possible for you to get the PC of your dreams. It's going to do whatever you want, whether you're going to be working with it, streaming with it, gaming with it, or a combination of the both. We have multiple different sizes, everything from small form factor all the way up to full towers. And they are definitely size difference. We've got everything you could possibly want. We've got Intel, we've got AMD, we've got NVIDIA, we've got Radeon. I think we even have some ARC going on there. And the best part is, you see that little green button up top? It says add to cart. That green button also means everything that's currently in the system is compatible. In this example, what we've done is selected a graphics card that requires more power than the power supply that's currently chosen. So the system's going to basically say, look, if you want this graphics card, you're going to have to choose one of these power supplies. But if you only want this power supply, you can only choose one of these graphics cards. Once you solve the problem, little yellow button turns back to green and you're good to go. So when I say we're a one-stop shopping center, I'm not joking. Everything from, again, cable mods to audio cards, streaming capture cards. We've got a little bit of everything, plus lots of hard drives. Now, when you go over to the Foundry, this is where it's going to get really fun. The Foundry is where you select your AIO, or if you want to have an open loop system, that's also an option. If you want to get your thermal paste upgraded, we can do that. You want to get your GPU overclocked, we can do that. You want to get your CPU overclocked, we can do that too. We can do them both. All there. It's up to you. Now, jumping over to the final area, which I absolutely love, is called the accessories tab. Oh, this is fun. So, very first piece on here is where you can get shirts like this. Oh yeah, CLX. Get your shirts, get your beanies, get your hoodies, or your windbreakers, I guess what we're calling them. But yeah, they're all there, and the windbreakers are actually fantastic. I love mine. And Rogue Gamer 1, that is actually a 5080 that has been installed. So from here, everything you could possibly need to set up your desk is available. You want keyboards? We have tons of keyboard options. You want a mouse? We have tons of mice options. And that's really fun. But we carry everything from controllers to headsets. And when I say controllers, or flight sticks, like if you're a Star Citizen player, that's what you want to get. And then, of course, we've got our headsets and our mics. And we offer Beacon Mix Creates and Beacon mics. So if you're new to streaming, Beacon Mix Creates are a great way to be able to control all of the little elements of your audio from one screen. It's a touch screen. It's great. It's fantastic. You get dials on it and everything else. And the Beacon mics are definitely the best USB mic I've ever heard of in my life. They're fantastic. So we got speakers, we got monitors, and a myriad of other things, including routers and even a chair. So literally, it's a one-stop shopping center for everything you could possibly need PC-wise. Now, that might sound to some people a little bit chaotic and just overwhelming. That's okay. We have that all covered too, because like we mentioned before, we have a ready-to-ship section, or RTS. RTS comes in 4 different flavors. You've got your entry level, you've got your mid-range, your high performance, and then your ultra high performance. These are pre-built and tested in our center right there in Wichita, and are looking for a new home. Now, this gives you a good idea of what you're going to get for the money that you're willing to spend on your budget. You could also grab one of these and maybe make some adjustments in there. That's also an option. So once you get through that, you're good to go. So for all of your future gaming and PC needs, head on over to clxgaming.com. Do what we can do for you. All right, that looks great. Look at that. All right. Pariah, are you ready to see how this thing lights up? The Blue Pariah 97. Here's your machine. Let's go. Oh my God, I love the LED down on the bottom. I didn't even realize that was a thing. Look at that in the top. What?
It's pretty sick.
Okay, now
This does have Corsair fans and Corsair coolers, so it will take a sec for those fans to kick there.
Wow. Wow. That is so beautiful.
It's only 24 calientes in there.
That is fantastic. Look at that. So once again, Blue Pariah 97, congratulations on your PC. Now, oh my gosh, I'm in love with those Corsair fans. Just the sides of them, the border, it even lights up. That's awesome. Now, we mentioned that it's going to go to testing. So what does that mean?
So after this, it's going to go to our testing department. The first thing we do there is get into the BIOS. So we'll make sure our RAM speed is set correctly. All of our storage devices are showing up. If you opted for overclocking in one of your builds, that's where we would do that. After your BIOS is set, we load the operating system. And that's all that we will load. We don't put any bloatware on these machines. You're just going to get a clean install of Windows or whatever operating system you selected. And then after that's been downloaded, we put the system through a 12-hour burn-in or stress test to make sure everything's stable. Typically, if a part is bad from the factory, we're going to find out pretty early on in that burn-in process. So that makes sure that you get a stable system when you get it at your house.
Oh my God, I'm just mesmerized by all the lighting. It looks fantastic. Good Lord. And one final question coming in here is, what GPU would you run with for the highest setting gaming and streaming? And I would say just what was recommended by OG, 4090, 5080, 5090 should do just fine.
There you go.
On the NVIDIA side. For the Radeon side, what would you recommend?
So for high-end Radeon card, I would go with high-end NVIDIA. But if you're going to go middle of the road, I would go with the Radeon 9070 XT.
There we go. Little options for everybody. Murther says, pick me. Hi, there you go. I picked you. And you can see that the temperature gauge right in there. That's also awesome. So, that being said, congratulations to the Blue Pariah. As we go to testing, and you'll, of course, be getting your email updates for where it is in the process of things. And we're excited for you to get it, and excited to see where you put it in your setup and in your room, in your gaming environment. Now, this show is going to happen in 2 parts, like usual. In just a few, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, you get to spend the afternoon with Zach as he builds some more amazing machines, which is going to be awesome. This show happens every Tuesday and Thursday, starting at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 Eastern. On Tuesdays, we are on Kick, Twitch, and YouTube. On Thursdays, we're exclusively over on TikTok. You don't want to miss that show. To find out more about the latest and greatest of what's going on with CLX Gaming, head on over to our socials. That is YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, and Threads. at CLX Gaming. If you want to jump into our Discord with a bunch of other like-minded PC enthusiasts and gamers, it is discord.gg/CLX Gaming. And so there you go. So with that being said, on behalf of Kyle and Jason in production, Paul and Zach, I'm DJ Blue PDX. Don't go away. There's more coming up after the break. We'll be right back.
See you later.
Bye. What is up, Scooby Gang? Welcome back, welcome in. Thank you for coming and hanging out with Paul, DJ, and I in our main show. We've got a pretty fun one for the after party today. Just doing a little bit of, basic maintenance, making sure we've got screws and hardware all in reach, ready to go. Okay, today we got a pretty fun one. Comes to us all the way from clxgaming.com. If you have not been to clxgaming.com, I highly recommend going into the www.//semicolon and clxgaming.com. We've got some pretty cool stuff. If you need it now, we can get it to you possibly tomorrow as our soonest. If you get one of our ready to ships, those guys are pre-built, pre-tested, and pre-packaged up, just waiting for your home address to get slapped onto that box to get shipped out. So let's see what we've got going into this box today. This comes to us with an AMD Ryzen 7 7800X3D AM5 processor. We're going to be cooling that bad boy down with a Asetek 360 in black. We also do offer it in white and RGB cap as well. All of this is going to go onto that beautiful Gigabyte Bravo 650 Eagle AX. Very nice motherboard.